It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they beat Billy really badly with a baseball bat, and his head's all split apart. And then they proceeded to do all these awful things to the girls.
It was a peaceful Sunday evening in Cheshire, Connecticut, on the 22nd of July 2007. A 48-year-old pediatric nurse named Jennifer Hawke-Petit took her boisterous 11-year-old daughter shopping at the corner supermarket. Before her father, William, got home from work, Michaela wanted to go get some special items to make him a very special dinner. While they casually chatted about their days, the mother and daughter went down the aisles, oblivious to the dark eyes watching them. The 26-year-old Joshua Komisarjevsky took note of their sophisticated outfit and luxury car. On the other hand, he found himself particularly drawn to young Michaela. A peculiar curiosity was beginning to form inside him. Komisarjevsky spotted the mother and daughter's beautiful, spacious home after he followed them home. He made up his mind that he would return and rob them. It wasn't just Komisarjevsky who was working. He took a chance on 44-year-old Stephen Hayes, who came out as transgender after initially identifying as male. Hayes sent a text message to Komisarjevsky the night of the crime, expressing his eagerness to begin. Komisarjevsky explained that he needed to put his daughter to sleep before anything else. A house invasion at the Petits was the original plot, but things soon got out of hand. A little before 3 o'clock in the morning, they arrived at the Petit house. They had agreed to simply bond the family together in order to shield them from any potential danger. But when they got inside, Dr. William Petit was sound asleep on the sofa. Komisarjevsky snatched a baseball bat from the stairwell and mercilessly smashed William several times. They informed him that their sole purpose in being there was to commit a heist, and insisted on knowing the location of the safe. William said there was no safe in the house. That being the case, the men shackled his wrists and ankles and hung his bloodied corpse to a beam in the basement. They covered his head with a blanket while he bled profusely. Jennifer, 11-year-old Michaela, and 17-year-old Hayley were tied to their beds upstairs with pillowcases. Hayley was headed to college soon to study medicine. The men searched and found only $103 in her wallet. They were so desperate for cash that they searched the house until they uncovered the bank statement of the family. What started as a home invasion was turning deadly. At about 9 in the morning, Hayes severed Jennifer's ties and took her to the bank, where he threatened to harm her family unless she paid $15,000. He waited in the car, allowing Jennifer to tell the bank worker what was happening. In spite of the fact that she was low on funds, she managed to secure the money and warn the family that they would die. Even as she was leaving, Jennifer courageously dialed 911 and reported that her family was being held as hostages.
Her name is Jennifer P-E-T-I-T.
Okay, she's still in the bank?
Yes, she is.
Okay, she's being held, or
her husband
and family's being held?
Yes.
At their house?
Yes. They're tied up. She said they drove her here. I'm trying to look and see where she's gone. She went outside, but I don't... Oh, wait, I see her walking now. She is petrified.
When Jennifer came in to ask for help, the bank worker said she was calm. Driving back with the money, Jennifer must have hoped the police would arrive soon to end the family's nightmare. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen. Right after they got back, Hayes raped Jennifer and then strangled her to death. Komisarjevsky allegedly attacked Michaela, who was 11 years old, and Jennifer was at the bank when the horrific incident occurred. In an effort to even things up, he instructed Hayes to rape Jennifer. Around 9:50 a.m., the men doused Jennifer's dead body in gasoline, along with the two scared girls who were still tied to their beds. They did this to likely destroy proof. They set the house ablaze. But as the men prepared to flee, William had managed to free himself from the basement where he was bound. William then passed out on the grass covered in blood, but he rolled to a neighbor's house and yelled, "The girls are in the house." The thieves got away in Petty's car. William lost 7 quarts of blood. The neighbor called the cops right away. It was annoying that cops had been waiting nearby for more than an hour. The bank said Jennifer seemed calm, which made her look like she cared. The police were told not to go into the house or talk to anyone there. Because of this, the police did nothing inside while the beatings, killings, and fires were going on. At 9:56 a.m., the killers were on the run when they crashed Petit's car into a police car. They were caught at 10:01 a.m. The attack went on for 7 painful hours. When they killed these people, both guys were on parole for burglaries they had committed in the past. Komisarjevsky and Hayes first met a year ago at a halfway house in Hartford. They quickly became criminal partners and friends. Together, they broke into rich homes to steal cash and credit cards. Even though they were on parole, their acts got worse because they weren't being watched. A lot of people didn't like how the police responded to Jennifer's call and instead chose to just watch the Petit home. While they were in jail, each man said the other was really the planner. Komisarjevsky even said that William was a coward and blamed him for the deaths of his own family. The guys were charged with 17 felonies, such as sexual assault, murder, kidnapping, and setting fires. Even though he had just hurt his head, William Petit went to court every day. Even though he didn't get much sleep, he lived with his parents and woke up every night at 3 a.m., which is exactly when the attack started. At his hearing, Komisarjevsky claimed that the unfortunate events he experienced as a child were the root of his actions. He was adopted when he was only 2 weeks old. His lawyers say that his foster brother, Scott Wrights, sexually attacked him when he was 14 years old. According to the law, Wrights was a sex offender after he was found guilty in 1993. A licensed professional counselor named Leslie Leibovich said that the Petit's abuse was neither caused by nor supported by this abuse. She said that Komisarjevsky's religious adoptive parents would not let her go to therapy or take medicine because they wanted to keep the pain a secret. The judges saw very upsetting evidence, such as autopsy photos and Joshua's pictures of Michaela hitting Michaela, who was 11 years old. A number of jurors were so deeply affected by the information that Connecticut offered them counseling. The jury found Hayes guilty on 16 of 17 counts in October 2010. After only 4 hours of deliberation, he was given the death sentence. After a year, Komisarjevsky was found guilty on all 17 counts and given the death penalty. But those offenders will never experience that. Connecticut got rid of the death penalty in 2015, which meant that people who were convicted would now get life in prison. Each got 6 straight life sentences plus an extra 140 years. They'll never see the sun again. The terrible acts happened in the Petit home, which was torn down. It is now the site of a tribute to Jennifer, Hayley, and Michaela. Komisarjevsky made 6 appeals between the sentence and April 2021, but all of them were turned down. His claim was that publicity leading up to the trial had tainted the trial's location. He also said the jail conditions were cruel, which made sense given what he had done. William Petit started dating a woman named Christine before Komisarjevsky's hearing. She went to court with him every day. They got married in 2012 and Jennifer's family was there. She said, "Our family needed this to help us heal." Some people were surprised at how quickly William got married again, but the Petit family supported him. William Petit III was born in 2013 to his wife Christine. As we already said, Hayes used to identify as male, but later changed her mind and became a woman. She talked about her experiences on the show 15 Minutes With. Hayes said that the racist and bigoted staff at her center are now making her life hard because she is a woman. She said she has gender dysphoria, a condition in which a person's appearance doesn't fit their identity. Hayes talked about how she was diagnosed with sexual identity disorder when she was 16 and her family didn't treat it. Even though she said she was transgender, someone from the jail said that they do not pay for surgery to change a person's gender, but they spend up to $60,000 a year on drugs for gender dysphoria. The most interesting thing is that Hayes said he was sorry on the show. She spoke out against Komisarjevsky's pleas, saying that their crimes have no defense. The Petit family doesn't deserve any more pain, says Hayes, so he doesn't want to be involved in the pleas. As I was researching this case, I read an upsetting story about how taxpayers paid for a murderer who was on death row to have a sex change. To be honest, it scared me and made me feel sick. As I said, hormone treatment already costs the state a huge amount of money. This makes no sense to me, and it feels like another blow to the Petit family, whose taxes pay for both Hayes' lifelong prison sentence and the help she needs to become a woman. It's hard for me to understand why the show host let Hayes talk about her transition. Why should you give a killer 15 minutes of fame? William Petit started the Petit Family Foundation to honor his late wife and girls not long after they died. Through donations, it aids in the education of children, particularly in science, cares for those with chronic illnesses like Jennifer's MS, and defends those who have suffered violence-related injuries. Visit www.petitfamilyfoundation.org to learn more about the wonderful things they do.